Welcome back to the Outdoor Adventures Podcast. Today in the studio, you got me, Sam Williams, and John Gaderos.
Good to be here.
Yeah, we had a guest lined up, but he's a fishing guide, and I'm guessing he booked a charter. So we will get him the next time around. It's nice when somebody doesn't show up for something because then they feel like they owe you something. So I feel like either his content will be really good or maybe we'll get a discount on a fishing trip.
Yeah. Hopefully.
Either way, that works for me. No hard feelings either way. He's a great guy. So John and I are just going to update everybody on what we've been up to in the outdoor space and just in life in general. John is preparing for Baby Gaderos, which is coming August?
Yeah, August 21st.
If she's on time.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So could be somewhere on or abouts that timeline.
Yeah.
And don't you have twins in your family, but not this go around, right?
Yeah. Yeah. My dad is a twin. I was supposed to be a twin, but my twin didn't make it. But
you ate your sibling?
Yeah.
Harsh, John. But at the same time, we would know if she was having twins by now.
Yeah.
Do you have all of the fancy medical stuff like Dylan does where you can check the baby's heart rate at home and all that kind of stuff?
No, because Dylan always told me bad like horror stories about it. So I was like, we're not getting it.
Yeah. Good call.
Yeah.
Because it stresses you out. You can't find the heartbeat. And then, now they do all these testing on the babies, like in utero to look for different genetic things.
Oh, yeah. Like we had that stuff too. And like, yeah, same stuff. Like they tell you something that you've never heard of. So the first thing you do is look it up and you see all this bad stuff about it. And like telling my parents about it, they're like, we got like one ultrasound when you were a kid and it's like not a very good one. So, but that's all you get. And then it's like, I think that's way better because you just wait. And,
why stress yourself out? And it's becoming odd to me. Like, this movie might be before your time, but do you remember that movie Gattaca?
I've heard of it. Yeah.
So we always watched that one as kids. And it was like, you could take your hair out and put it in this machine and it would tell you all like when you were going to die or like if you had a heart condition or all this. And so like the main character thinks he has a heart condition the whole time, but he's doing all these things he shouldn't be able to do.
Right.
And so it's, to me, sometimes let's just let nature do its thing. And why are we always trying to get in the middle? And it just adds an extra layer of stress on you.
Yeah, exactly. That's how it's like all of it has been just like, oh, you go to the doctor, they tell you something's wrong, and then it's like, oh, great. And then just for it to turn out to be nothing wrong, like everything's good. But.
Yeah. How's your wife been as a pregnant person?
She's been good.
Yeah?
She's a lot more tired lately. Like it had left for a while. Like she was good, full energy, and then we just hit the third trimester, and then it all hit her again. But she's been good.
Did she get any of the morning sickness stuff? Or?
Yeah, she was, but it was more of like all day. She was just sick all day. Didn't want to do anything or just relax. But
my wife was super easygoing as a pregnant person until the very end. Like, because you know when you're getting close to, you just can't sleep very good.
Yeah.
And everything hurts. And I remember there was so many pillows on the bed, and yeah. So, well, that's exciting. You'll have a new addition to the family soon.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, and Dylan's baby's coming in July, so these two are going to be like neck and neck.
Yeah.
That'll be fun.
Yeah.
Well, I was supposed to go bear hunting about 2 weeks ago, and then we had a medical emergency in the family, so we didn't get to go on that trip. And my son, I was taking him. He had the youth tag, and we talked about it before. And so he was a little disappointed, but he understood the reasons why. And so I'm going to be petitioning the Oregon Department of Fish and Wildlife to get his youth points back, and you just have to show that you had a medical emergency. And I think you fill out a form. You might have to get a doctor's signature or something like that, and then they'll give you your points back. So I'm sharing that with everyone here just in case you have a hunt planned that maybe you put some points in. So for him, he had 2 youth points, and then he put in for this tag this year. And so we should get basically 3 points for next year.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Yeah, and Department of Fish and Wildlife is very understanding if it's an emergency. That makes sense. Obviously, if you did it all the time, they might start to question you.
Yeah.
So the other thing we talked about briefly before we got on the air here was the what are those numbers called? So it's they just came out with them. They're
The seed numbers.
seed numbers. Yeah. So they just drew the seed numbers for Oregon, and John and I both are in agreement. We don't waste that much time trying to figure out how close we are to the seed numbers. We know you got to be over the number, and the closer you are to it, the better your chances of drawing a tag if you're in that 25% that's hoping to get lucky.
Yeah.
But the people that have preference points are still 75% of the tags are going to go to them.
Yeah, I think for a while, like I would look at it, like Dylan and I were pretty big, like we're big on it.
We got a chance.
Yeah, and then it comes to the point, like, because it's only a couple weeks until they show you what you got anyway, so you're waiting, like you're so excited those couple weeks just to be like, nope, didn't get it. Yeah, so it's just like, I'd rather just wait those couple weeks and see whether or not I get it. But
yeah, and June 12th we'll know.
Yeah.
Weyerhaeuser is really tricky in that they make you buy their permit on June 11th so that you're buying it before you know what your tags are. This year they're doing a draw system like Idaho, where you have to, because it used to be first come, first serve, but now you're going to get assigned like a number to buy your Weyerhaeuser tag for some of the units.
Oh, really?
So I don't know. I've thought about doing that because I won't draw my mule deer tag this year. I'm going to be focusing on my son, helping him get a mule deer. So I'll buy a blacktail tag of some sort. I haven't decided if I'm going to go archery or if I'm going to go general season. And I'm thinking about some of these Weyerhaeuser units. And you guys are all going to be blacktail hunting this year too.
Yeah.
So hopefully we can find some big blacktails.
Yeah, hopefully.
Or any with a visible antler would probably be good.
We'll take anything.
Yeah. So the other thing that I've been up to, I went to outdoor school with my son the following week. No cell phone reception out there, in a small cabin with 5 12-year-old boys. One 13, I guess. So 4 12-year-olds and a 13-year-old. And we had these rope challenges that we did it with this whole class, and they fed us every day pretty well. Some school type stuff where you're learning about soil sciences and rivers, and it was called Camp Yamhill, and we had a lot of fun. I was exhausted when I got home. I told my wife, I think I'm getting sick, and she goes, I think you probably just chased 5 young boys around for 4 days. So it was 4 days, and they were long days. I'd get up at 6. The kids couldn't get out of their bunks till 7. And then we would go all day till like 10:30 at night.
Oh, wow. Was that Michael's first time doing that, or has he done it before?
No, they do it for the 6th graders.
Oh,
so
okay.
It was the whole 6th grade class, which I don't know how many kids there are total, but there's a fair amount of them. I want to say, I think there's 3 6th grade classes, so it's probably somewhere in that 50 to 60 kid range. And they keep the boys and girls separate. But there was a lot of fun things that we did, and they had some nice games you could play. Like the kids, there was one where they had this course all laid out where the kids were all supposed to be simulating salmon smolts, all trying to come through turbines, which they used jump ropes for those. And then me and another guy were bears in the first stage in the river as the smolts are trying to come in. And so and they tell you the first year you're tagging as many as 2-hand touch, and you're tagging as many of them as you can, because the survival rates aren't good.
Yeah.
And then you're getting more and more lenient as they go along, and they have to go out in the ocean, then they have to come back to the river. It was pretty fun.
Oh, that's cool.
And they did another one with the deer population where half the kids are deer. Well, let's say 25% of the kids were deer, and the other 75% were resources, and the deer had to run to those resources. Well, then the teacher would be like, there was a fire this year, and a bunch of the resources would be gone. And so if you didn't get to a resource, then you would die as a deer. So Michael, he made it all the way to year 10, so he felt pretty proud of himself because the lady's like, you're a stag, So
That's cool.
So it was fun. It was a neat experience and good to hang out with my son. I would say I could have probably survived one day less. By like Thursday, I was pretty gassed.
Yeah.
But it was a lot of fun. And boy, those boys, they can eat. Like we would eat a full meal, and as soon as we'd leave, they'd be like, I'm hungry. When are we eating again? So I kept having them put apples in their pockets. So anyway, then you guys went out, I think, while I was in outdoor school, or maybe it was the week before, and set some trail camps.
Yeah.
So tell me about that.
Yeah, we went, it was a couple weeks ago, I think. I ordered some cellular trail cams because I wanted to try them out. And I wanted to test them out to see if they would be good to put over east where we hunt. So I did a little test run. We went and set 2 of them out. And I mean, we were getting deer right off the bat. Like it was really cool to see. Just, they just pop right up on your phone and you get to look at them and see videos and stuff. Like it works pretty good. And then now that everything is growing more, getting a lot of grass growing in front of the cameras, I got to go in and move them, which I was planning to bring some feed in there anyway, so it'll be good.
Yeah. That's a lot nicer than having to go check an SD card all the time.
Yeah. I have one of those, and I was like, yeah, I'll put it up. It won't be that bad to just go check a SD card. But I was like, it'd be way easier for them to just send right to your phone. I was like, yeah, might as well.
Well, and like Dylan and I were talking, if you do have them set up over east and you have the tag and you're getting that update, like ding, oh, there's a picture of a buck on your trail cam. Like that's going to build that excitement.
Oh, yeah.
Because he's already, how he is. He's planning.
Yeah, he's already packed for next year.
Yeah, exactly. He's way ahead of it. So if he had that, it would keep him amped up all the time.
Yeah.
So, and it gives you an idea of what the deer are doing, and you can kind of see how healthy they look. And
yeah,
I always set them up on my place, and I just enjoyed kind of seeing what they were up to. I was shocked how much deer activity there was at night, just especially rut time, obviously, but just like sparring and stuff. So I'll have to show you some of those pictures I got from years back.
And like the places we put them, like we hunt it pretty hard, and so we wanted to put some cameras out to see if it's like, is it worth it for us to keep hunting these areas, or do we need to move around, or kind of what we need to do? And I mean, so far they've been pretty good. So,
well, also time of day too, where you're seeing where then they're up and around and moving, and I think that's important.
Yeah,
that's cool. I'm glad you guys did that. I also went on a turkey hunt with Bryant from the Oregon First Hunting and Fishing podcast. So I met Bryant through Shop Talk, which is just like a gathering of outdoorsmen, and we hang out and have a barbecue and have different guest speakers and things like that. And it's once a month. And so I met him there, and he has a podcast similar to ours. And he invited me to go turkey hunting, and we had it on the calendar for May 20th, and it just kind of fit the calendar. And he took me to a couple of his spots, and the first spot we went into, he started calling to see if he could get a gobble response, and he got one. And then it was multiple different gobbles, so we knew there was a couple of, turkeys running around. Couldn't get him to come, so we decided to switch spots. We walked back to the truck, and as we're driving out, we see these 3 toms out in a field.
Oh.
So, and those were the ones that were gobbling, but they were going back and forth, right to left, but they would not come off of that private property.
Yeah.
So then we went to another piece of public ground, hiked in there. We start walking around the corner, and I see 15 turkeys. I'm like, oh, there's turkeys right there. So we backed off, and he started calling and trying to get one to come in. Well, nothing was happening. So we went and kind of peeked over the edge, and they were all gone. And then we saw them again on private property. So we walked up to the top of this hill, and he looks down there, and he sees something. And so he started doing I wouldn't call it a chuckle. I don't really know what it is. It's something with a reed call, though. And he also had his, wooden box call. Mm-hmm. And so he does this, and all of a sudden this turkey pops up. And we figured it was a Jake, but it got all puffed up, and it had gotten lost from the rest of them, and he was back right where we were. Oh. So then we decided to make a play on him. So we work our way back down there, and by the time we got there, he's back on the private ground. So it was a good hunt. We sat and kind of hung out there for a while, but we decided, let's just go drive down this public road to see the turkeys that are on the private, just check them out. And that group was like 15 toms. Oh, wow. There was like one hen in there and all toms, and big ones, like big old beards and like gray kind of faces. But they were like rolling around in somebody's yard and dusting themselves, But that was my first time ever actively turkey hunting, and it was pretty enjoyable. And, the spots were a little tight, but he said it's usually like that. You're trying to get them off of that private to the public kind of thing, because they like those farmers' fields.
Yeah.
So, but it was pretty fun. I was hoping to maybe go again. Today's last day of season, so I'd have to go this evening, but probably not going to be in the cards for me this year. But it was fun, and I definitely want to buy some turkey calls and start, put a little more effort into it next year. And now Dylan was talking about that cabin we rented maybe doing a turkey hunt over there.
Yeah, that'd be super cool. We talked about that a lot.
Because we saw a lot of turkeys, and we could kind of do a turkey fishing, go a little later than we went this year, so we're not fighting the ice as much.
Yeah, that would be cool just to, even if we, just went for like a weekend or whatever, like that'd be cool to do.
I think so. So I think that's what we should plan on for next year. Other thing we were talking about, an event coming up that I got you talked into coming with me on is Cast for Kids. So we've got an event on June 8th, and my buddy Brent, who's been on the show, he organizes that. And you're fishing with a child with some disabilities. And you fish with you. We get there at 8 o'clock, I think, and the kids all start arriving at 8:30, and we fish with them till lunchtime, and we have a little barbecue with them. Every kid gets a little award, and then you're done for the day.
Yeah.
But I'm excited you're going to do it.
Yeah, I'm excited too. I think we talked about it. Who did we have on? Austin Nichols, I think. He talked
he did
about
it with his boat.
And
yeah.
After that, like I always thought that would be pretty cool to do. So I'm happy to be a part of it.
Yeah, I'm glad you can fit it in. It's going to be it's a fun event, and you're catching stalker trout, but like some of these kids have never caught a fish before, so just their excitement and watching them reel in a fish, and trying to use your strategy as a fisherman for the place you want to go fish from. So
that'd be cool.
Yeah, it's a really nice setting, and it's a really fun event. So yeah, we've got I got, counting me, there was 4 of us that are going, so it'll be good. And then the other thing we were talking about is bass fishing. I have not fished this spring at all, and even though I have a lake like a quarter of a mile from my house, and I didn't get to fish any spring bass, and now they're probably post-spawn, I'm guessing, most of them. And so I need to get out there and fish. I know I'm going next Friday with Bryant from the Oregon First Hunting and Fishing Podcast, so we're going. He's bringing a guy out that he had on his show that's a pretty avid bass fisherman. So I was like, that guy could probably show us some stuff, how to get these bigger fish to bite. But I'm thinking you, me, and Dylan need to go out there too.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
We got to fit it in.
See if Dylan can fall out of a kayak or something.
Yeah, I'll give him the big one. It's super sturdy. I'll go in the smaller one.
He probably won't fish though. He'll probably just sit there.
Just cruise around.
Yeah, just cruise around.
Well, those little bluegill replica lures, I used those last year. Dylan could catch a fish with one of those.
Yeah.
I don't care how much into fishing he is. Those things, they worked really well last year. So,
yeah.
And you just cast it out and reel it in. So,
yeah, we'll have to do it. That'll be fun.
Yeah, for sure. We'll do that. And then the other thing coming up is shad fishing. So John and I just checked the counts. So in Oregon, we get about 4.5 million fish, at least we did last year. And I don't go until there's 80 to 200,000 fish per day coming in.
Which is so crazy. That's so many fish.
So we just looked at my photos from last year, and that's usually second week of June when the run is kind of peaking, and those shad are in such large quantities that if you can't catch them, then you shouldn't
You're doing
ever
something
fish.
wrong.
Yeah, exactly. So they're catching them now, but they're only getting like 10 to 20,000 fish a day. So I'm going to wait till the numbers are better. Yeah. Isn't that crazy? Imagine if that was salmon.
Yeah, that's
they're only
so
getting
many.
10. And that's like the sockeye fishing in Alaska is, it's not quite that many, but they have days where 90,000 fish are coming in.
Yeah.
So
that's crazy.
Yeah. But the shad thing is, it's fun. And then you got to figure out what to do with them. And you're talking about maybe doing an Umpqua trip.
Yeah, that's the plan. My dad and I have been talking about doing it. So I think we're going to find some time to run down there and try to catch some shad. If not, we'll do some smallmouth fishing or something like that. So.
Yeah, from what I understood, same kind of thing. Like, even if you miss the shad run, you're going to catch a lot of smallies.
Yeah.
Like, unless you just are the worst fisherman of all time.
Exactly.
Although, remember we tried to fish Prineville Reservoir, or was it Ochoco Reservoir?
Ochoco Reservoir, yeah.
So we tried to fish that on that winter camping trip. And I'd been there before in the summer with my kids, and we caught largemouth after largemouth, just one after another. And I was just fishing with night crawlers with them. And we caught a ton of them. So we sat there, I don't know, quite a while and didn't touch a fish.
Yeah.
So I don't know if the water temp was too cold.
Yeah, it still might have been.
Yeah, or if I know that they've had trouble keeping water in there, so maybe the fish just weren't that shallow.
Yeah.
So anyway. Well, I know that was kind of short and sweet, but I don't really have a whole lot of other things to talk about. Have you bought any new guns lately?
No, not lately. I've slowed down. I basically got everything that I could need, I think.
I thought maybe when we had Reef on here last time, maybe he inspired you to buy more guns. But
No.
yeah, your arsenal is complete.
Yeah, I think so.
It's kind of like Gun Addicts Anonymous, I think, is what, you were getting to that place where we might have needed to start an intervention.
Yeah, probably. I was looking for a phone number to call, but
Yeah. Couldn't find one.
couldn't find one.
Yeah. Just kept calling
just more gun
turn in and
shops.
poacher hotline.
Yeah.
I don't want to buy another gun. Sir, do you have any poaching to turn in? No, that's not a bad problem to have. I think as far as addictions go, gun addictions are
Probably a good one, yeah.
yeah. So my Uncle Charlie, who doesn't ever remember you.
Oh, I was going to tell you, the last gun show here, I saw him. That's the only place I ever see him, and he actually recognized me. I said, "Hey, Charlie." He said, "John, how you doing?" I was like,
man.
I was like, "Man, something changed."
You've made an impression.
Yeah.
So Uncle Charlie, since he came on the show, which was episode 9, and we're on episode 36 today, can't stop buying guns. So he is always shopping for guns. So it just kind of ignited a passion for that again. And again, as a gun person, I don't find that to be an offensive addiction, but the spouses don't always love it, because they are kind of expensive.
Yeah.
And they do take up a lot of space.
She was there too. He was telling us about all of his guns, and he was there looking for gun parts, and she just kept shaking her head. And he was talking about he wants to build a range there at his house, and she wasn't for it.
She wasn't on that?
Yeah.
Because you have to just build a big hill or something.
Yeah.
I think he should do it.
He said he's still going to do it no matter what, so I guess we'll see.
Evelyn is a great lady. She has really anyone that puts up with a Williams is a pretty good person, generally.
Yeah, that was the first time I met her, and she was super nice.
Yeah, she's great. Well, thanks for coming in. Sorry that, our guy we were going to interview didn't make it, but gave us a chance to catch up and talk to each other a little bit.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, and baby coming soon. So it's exciting. You're having a baby shower this weekend. You're going to be probably melting candy bars and diapers and things like that.
Yeah, probably. I don't know.
It's baby showers are super exciting as a male.
That's what I've heard, yeah.
Yeah.
I've only been to one, and it was Dylan's, so.
Yeah, they don't ever feel awkward or uncomfortable. Yeah. So at my wife's, me and a couple guys went up to the bedroom and played video games and drank whiskey. And it made it pretty good.
Yeah.
While the girls did all the shower games.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll be able to do anything like that on this one.
Maybe not.
Yeah, probably not.
We'll have fun with that.
Yeah.
All right, Johnny. I'll talk to you later.